right, hi. This is Mrs. Spitz again. We're in transition to algebra class. And I'm going to talk today about the coordinate plane. I'm sure you've seen this before, right? This is a coordinate plane made by two perpendicular lines. Let me review that. Perpendicular lines are lines that intersect at right angles, right? So they're exactly 90 degrees when they intersect there. So this is, of course, chart paper, which is already drawn, and you have your graph paper in your composition books. So you can draw a coordinate plane in there as well if you don't mind. We only need to have 10 spaces on each side. And each of these perpendicular lines have a letter named to them, right? And they are called the axes. So we have the x-axis, which we would say is a horizontal line, right? And then we have the y-axis, which is the vertical line. And they intersect at the point in the middle here that you can make a little dot there, right? That's called the origin, where those two lines intersect. And actually, it's considered 0 at that point. So I am going to put the number 0 here, okay? Because that intersection is 0. Okay, so we have the x-axis, that is the horizontal line. We have the y-axis going vertical. And we have positive and negative numbers here, all right? So anything on the right side of the origin here are considered positive numbers. I'm not putting all the positive signs on there because we know that those are just positive numbers if they don't have a sign, right? That positive sign's invisible. But let's go ahead, if you wouldn't mind with me, we're going to go ahead and number this side, the left side, from 0. And remember, we've been talking about integers. So this is your negative line. So for each of these points where that x-axis is intersecting your graph paper, go ahead and put a number, and we're labeling them with negative numbers, okay? This is our negative part of the integer line. And we'll just go up to 10 today, okay? Of course, we know numbers can go on and on, but we're just going to go to 10 for the purpose of this lesson. All right, so we have our horizontal line labeled. Let's go ahead and label the vertical line. So when we're going up, we have positive numbers up here. So we can put a dot and we can put our positive numbers. Doesn't really matter what side you're going to label it on. I'm just going to put them here for right now. And again, if we just go up to 10, that will serve the purpose of this lesson, all right? And then we'll go down, and going down we go into negatives. So we have a -1 here, and then we have a -2 and -3. And we will keep going again to 10. I have extra space on mine, but we'll just do this. Line there. Okay. So hopefully, if you need to pause and finish that, go ahead and do that in the video so that we can move on here. All right. So we have the origin. I'm just going to put next to that, the origin is considered 0, 0. All right. What is this? Why do we have this here? This is called an ordered pair. You haven't heard that term before. It's how we find points, or how we make points on our coordinate plane, all right? An ordered pair always has an x value first. The x value is the horizontal line, and then it gives you the y value, which is the vertical. So I could put numbers in here, and you could find any spot on that coordinate plane by just knowing the ordered pair. Pretty cool, huh? So we know that the origin is 0, 0. We'll do a few more in a minute. I just wanted to give you that term. But there's another term I want to give you, and it's called the quadrants. You might have heard the term quadrilateral, right? That means four-sided figure. Quadrants means 4 sections of the graph, right? And they are numbered. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and number them, and you can number them with me. So the quadrants start on the top right side, and they're numbered in Roman numerals, okay? This is the first quadrant, and they go counterclockwise. And this is the second quadrant. That's your Roman numeral 2. And then you come down here, and you have the Roman numeral 3. I'll just go over here, which is 3 lines. A little bit more. And then this is your fourth quadrant, which is a straight line and a V. Okay, that's the 4 in Roman numerals. You've probably done that before in school. All right, so we have 4 quadrants, or 4 sections, if you want to consider that. We have the origin, right? We have our ordered pairs we're going to make. And we have positive and negative numbers. So let's go ahead and find some points on here, because this is the fun part of what you can do with a graph. You can find points, you can make points, someone else can figure out what they are, you can label them. So we're going to, let me see if I can come over here. And we're gonna have some ordered pairs. And remember, they're going to start with the x value and then the y. And so our first ordered pair is going to be a capital A, and it's going to be 0, 6. That's interesting. Okay, so what do we do with 0? Well, that's an x, and we can't go anywhere on the x-axis. It means I'm going to stay right here. But then I have a positive 6, which means I can go on the y-axis up positive 6. So it means it's going to be right here on that y-axis. And I'm going to label this A. So sometimes you have points that are right on the axis itself. And the clue is one of them will be 0 because they didn't go anywhere. So they're just staying on that axis, okay? So that's kind of cool. All right, another, this is hard to get off here. Been on crooked or something. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I'm going to get another marker. I can't get that top off. All right, I'm going to have letter B here. And we are going to have a -3 and a +4. So on this one, I have to go back and forth between the Expo and a Sharpie. So we're going to go with the x, -3, and a +4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll put a B right here. That's our spot for B, okay? So now let's do C. Letter C would be a -9 and a -8, okay? So let's find that on our graph. Okay, so we'll go over on the x-axis to -9, and then we will go down on the y, -8, and we'll just use, it's kind of like one of those finger charts you've used before in Montessori, and here's our spot right here, right? Let me just check. -9, -8, yep. And that's going to be C. And one thing I would like you to do, and I forgot to do this, is I'd like you to put the coordinate pair right next to your letter, okay? So let's go back and do that, make sure we have that. B was -3, 4, and C is, and we like to put our ordered pair, if you noticed, in parentheses with a little comma between each of those numbers. If we didn't, it would look very strange. All right, so we have one more point that I'd like you to do. Of course, it's D. So we're going alphabetical order. And that would be a +4 and -7, okay? So let's see where that takes us. +4 and a -7, so we're going to go over 4, down 7. Put a D here, and I'm going to write 4, -7. There we go. And, all right, I'm going to put one more point here, okay? We'll call it E. And in parentheses, I want to put, let's see, 5, 8. Okay? So those are both positive numbers. So we're going to go over +5 and then up 8. Sometimes I need to use 2 fingers since it's such a large chart. So this is point E, and in parentheses we'll put 5, 8. All right? So let's do this. Right after these coordinate pairs, let's just put down the quadrant that each of these are in. All right? So A, well, it's on the y-axis here, so it's really between 2 quadrants, isn't it? So we don't really want to give that a quadrant. It could be 1, could be 2. We'll just leave it. But look at B. B's definitely in quadrant 2. Right, so we'll just put that here as Roman numeral 2, quadrant 2. C is down in quadrant 3. D is over in quadrant 4. And then if you look at E, it's up in quadrant 1. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of how to label these, the different terms that we can use with coordinate planes, and we'll be doing quite a bit more of that. I'm assuming this might be a little bit of a review, but if not, there you have it, and some of your nomenclature, your graphing, and thank you for paying attention and being here today, and I will see you in class. Bye-bye.